What's up, y'all? This is Monday's Mean Business, and today we're going to talk about the 5 common mistakes that people make when it comes to DBAs. Check it out. How's it going, everybody? My name is Uba, and I am the entrepreneur lawyer, as well as the founder of the Uba Law Group. We're a law firm that specializes in business formation and intellectual property to help you protect your assets, save money on taxes, and attract quality clients. Now today I want to talk about 5 common mistakes that I see and I hear often when it comes to DBAs. A DBA simply means doing business as. It's also called an assumed name or a trade name. And so what a DBA is a name that you will use for your business that is different than the legal name that's registered with the state. So you'll use a DBA because it's often a catchier or a more marketable name than whatever LLC or business that you officially register with the state. There are 5 misconceptions that I want to clear up, and hopefully you'll have a little bit more insight at the end of the video. So let's hop into it. First, a DBA does not offer you any protection. I see so many people going into business and legal and contractual situations only with a DBA and no actual business entity that will provide them protection. And they're mistaken thinking that a DBA will protect them in any way, because it will not. What a DBA is just what we talked about. It's just a business name. And a way I like to describe it with clients is it's like a glove. It'll go over whatever's already there. So if the hand that's already there is a sole proprietorship, a DBA will simply put a trade name on top of a sole proprietorship. If the hand that's there is an LLC, a DBA will put a trade name on top of the LLC. The DBA itself doesn't give any protection. All it does is it puts a trade name on top of the thing that's already there. So if you didn't have business protection before the DBA, you're not going to have business protection after the DBA. That's very important to remember, because you don't want to get caught up in a situation where you enter into a contractual agreement or a real estate deal or whatever, thinking you have protection just because you have a trade name or an assumed name with the DBA. So that's the first mistake. Now, the second mistake is thinking that you actually don't need to file for a DBA. Legally, unless you file for a DBA, the name that you can actually use to market and advertise and do business has to be the name that matches your certificate of formation for your LLC. Or if you're an individual, it would be your personal name if you're a sole proprietorship. A DBA is actually necessary for people to register to legally do business with the state. Now, I know a lot of states aren't very strict. I'm in Texas, and there are people that operate without fully using the DBA as it should be used. But those are the rules, and you should definitely apply for your DBA so you have the legal backing to use your name and to use a trade name that's marketable in different situations legally. So the second mistake is not thinking that you have to get the DBA. Now, the third mistake is thinking that you can use an old DBA for a new business. This is something that I see a lot. We'll have clients that were forming an LLC for them, and they had a DBA with themselves as a sole proprietorship, and they think that they don't have to register for a new DBA. But kind of like we said before, the DBA covers what's already there. So when you register for a DBA as a sole proprietorship, that DBA is attached to that sole proprietorship. If you set up a new business, if you set up an LLC or a different entity, you now need to file for a new DBA to cover that different entity. And there'll be some additional benefits for that we're about to get into. So it's just really, really straightforward. If you have a new entity, you need a new DBA. Which leads us to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is thinking that you can't have 2 DBAs in a state that have the same name. You actually can, and this happens a whole lot. There will be multiple DBAs that have the same name. There'll be multiple businesses that will use the same trade name to conduct business. And so, this is allowed because a DBA is just what we said. It's a trade name. It's not an actual legal name. There's not going to be legal confusion for documents or for contracts or with the state. Many states, if not all states, will allow you to have multiple users have the same DBA. It's definitely like that here in Texas. Just know that if you're married to a name, if you really love it, you can still definitely get a DBA and operate under that name. However, from a strategic standpoint, I often tell my clients, if you want to start a business and that name is already taken, it might make sense to pick a different DBA so you can differentiate yourself from the competition and from the market that's already out there. But just so you know, you can actually have a DBA, you can have multiple businesses with the same DBA name. Okay, that brings us to our fifth and final mistake. And that is thinking that your DBA applies to more area than it does. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you're a sole proprietorship, which a lot of my clients who come into the game with a DBA, there'll be a sole proprietorship, oftentimes they think that DBA that they registered is good everywhere. Well, it is not. Particularly in the state of Texas, when you register a DBA, it is only good for the county that you're doing business in. As you start doing business in more and more counties, you have to register your DBA in all those different counties. It's very tedious and it's a lot, but those are the rules for a sole proprietorship. However, one of the benefits of having an LLC is that if you register a DBA for an LLC, it covers the entire state. So you're good for the entire state when that DBA is connected to an LLC. So that's a misconception. A lot of times people will have a sole proprietorship thinking that their DBA is good for everywhere when it is not. It's only good for the county that you register it in. Okay, so that was a quick burst about 5 mistakes with DBAs. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Hopefully that clarifies any misconceptions that you might have had. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd be happy to respond to those. So keep on grinding, keep on hustling. I believe in you guys. Don't forget, Mondays mean business. Peace. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, if it's bringing value to you, if it's helping you understand your business even more, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our other videos. We drop weekly videos about how to protect your business, how to save money on taxes, how to learn more in unique different aspects that'll give you a strategic advantage as an entrepreneur. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. Peace.